Still the trading week to Christmas. Everyone, welcome to the program. We welcome our viewers here in Nigeria and around the world. This is your Business Morning, Tuesday, December the 19th. I am Bosun Omofaye. Let's take it a little bit nice and slow this morning. If you've been following the Bitcoin currency, I'm on the CME group. This is where the Bitcoin currency makes its second futures debut late night on Sunday. Then we woke up yesterday morning to see Bitcoin trading at $20,000 per coin. Now we're looking at the CME this morning, the second trading day, technically as it were, at about 2:45 a.m. this morning, about 2 hours ago, West Coast in the U.S. That's about 2:49 in the morning. Bitcoin for January 2018 delivery selling 19,505. That's the bit of an uptick after a big bang debut on Monday. It retraced some of those early gains down. It's making a comeback Tuesday morning by 405 basis points. The previous settle was about 19,100. And the total volume for the January 2018 Bitcoin delivery is 146 notes, as it is called. Then you have the other Bitcoins maturing or for delivery February 2018, March and June 2018. Most of the trading activities piled into the Bitcoin, making delivery in January 2018. Those ones, as at 19 December today, we see Bitcoin at 19,505. That's on the CME group. Remember, that's the Chicago Mercantile Exchange. Bitcoin futures is also trading on the Chicago Board Options Exchange called the CBOE. But the CBOE and the CME are located in Chicago. If you know where that's in the United States. That's the home of derivatives, futures and options markets around the world. That's the capital, that is. Let's come back home and talk about the budget 2018. We're focusing our eyes today on the House of Representatives as the lower house of the National Assembly. A resumption they set today, the 19th of December, as the day they will come back to the chambers and continued their deliberations on the 2018 appropriations. Those folks, the legislators stopped about 2 weeks ago when they discussed the basic assumptions and decided to leave all the key parameters unchanged but raise the price of crude oil benchmark for next year from $45 per barrel presented by President Buhari to $47 per barrel. That's where we finished off 2 weeks ago. But now we're seeing some conversations, and it's always been on the budget. So we're looking at the making of the budget on Twitter. What's been said on Twitter as we speak? The man whose picture, image you see there is Dr. Joe Abba. If you know him, if you're on Twitter, at Dr. Joe Abba, that's where you find him on Twitter. This is what he says early this morning about the budget, some of the conversations that is there on social media. And he says, as it is a budget season again, let me once again add the little I know to aid citizens' understanding of the budget. He went on to say that first, we focus heavily on expenditure without paying enough attention to revenue and debts. It says that the budgets are unrealistic and the government is to be blamed for it. And in another tweet, or a second tweet by Dr. Joe Abba, he went on to say that our budgets are hopelessly unrealistic. And he went on to explain it very simply. And if you take some time there to look at what he says, this analogy. If I earn 1 million naira a year, and I've been spending 1 million naira every year for the past 3 years, so why budget 3 million naira for the next year? And that's the question. So it's still down to our belief in miracles. That's what he asked. Why not budget 1 million naira now and do a supplementary if you later get 3 million naira? Dr. Joe Abba has that question out there for those who are in charge of the budget. I am in charge of reporting the budget. And his third tweet, which I found very interesting this morning, and he went on to say, for the avoidance of doubt, by law, government must submit last year's budget performance figures with next year's budget to the National Assembly. That's what the NASS stands for. That is why the National Assembly is able to say that less than 20% of the power, works, and housing budget has been released. the document should be made public. Just before we leave that, what Dr. Abba says is that by law, the Nigerian government must submit the previous year's budget performance together with the next year's budget. I'm not sure we've had that on our hands. So it's just reminding everyone what the law says that the executive should do. Those tweets about the budget 2018 and the conversations around where we're coming from was from Dr. Joe Abba, the man who was in charge of the Bureau for Public Reform, there, if you know, the agency where he worked until just a few weeks ago. Okay, this is where two elephants fight. And now is the grass that suffer. And that's when the Dangote group and the BUA group lock heads together in a limestone controversy. The two cement giants are in dispute over a facility, a mining facility. That's the mining lease number 2541 located in Obu, at the Okpela community in Esako area of Edo State. And now the Edo State governor, Mr. Godwin Obaseki, has decided to shut down the disputed limestone facility. In other words, in newspaper reports, to prevent a breakdown of law and order in the area. The two cement companies, Dangote and BUA, are in court already over the ownership of the limestone mine, and the instructions, according to the governor, must be obeyed. He says that the mine should be shut down until the determination of the suit in court. Governor Obaseki went on to say that whoever the court says owns the mine will have to claim the mine. Remember 2 weeks ago, Dr. Fayemi's mining ministry, by the name Solid Minerals, 2 weeks ago directed the BUA group to stop the extraction of limestone activities at the disputed site.